As I've been listening to people in the midst of their quarantine existence, one theme has come through over and over again. They have a lot more money in some way because they're spending less money out. They're isolated from the world. They're not out and about. They're not going out for breakfast and lunch, and they're stuck inside. Now, many people are suffering as well, of course, having lost jobs and having a hard time providing in the same way as before. But there's this isolation from the world. And as I look at the first reading from Mass today, I think there's something good in that. So we see the disciples say, it is better for us to obey God. We must obey God rather than men. And that's a theme that comes directly from Jesus, if you think about it. He confronts the authorities and preaches the truth, and in the end, they oppose him and have him put to death. The disciples follow in his footsteps. They confront the same thing. They preach the truth of who Jesus was and what his death and resurrection means. And the authorities begin to oppose him the same way that they opposed Jesus. And so as we go through our own life in this time of quarantine, I want to encourage you to take that separation from the world and see the benefits that come from that, from being isolated from those powers that tend to oppose us and that tend to tempt us and drag us down and try to hold us back. And instead see, how can I make my life more fruitful so that it's easier for me to obey God rather than men, rather than the demands of the world, rather than the temptations that are usually surrounding me. Instead of just lamenting the fact that we're still stuck at home, let's make use of that isolation and hold on to something good so that even when the doors are opened back up and the stores and the restaurants and the bars and everything is open, that we hold on to something valuable, a little bit of isolation, and that we leave time and space in our lives from this day always going forward to make sure that we obey God rather than men, rather than the world.